Hey, bring it back with another video. It's 4:40 p.m. It is March 9th, Monday afternoon, and I have been looking for work all morning. I've been putting in the effort. I know some people are probably thinking, well, you need to speed up the process. I already talked about that. I feel kind of flattened by everything. So I'm doing the best I can, chugging along, and I feel like if I get even 2 resumes out in a day, considering I have to tailor everything specifically, I'm doing a good job. But actually, I exceeded the 2 resumes today, so I'm actually pretty proud of myself. So anyway, I'm just like gonna take a break till this evening and get back to it. I feel like I have to make up a lot of time, but I think I wanted to make this video because I was thinking about how when you deal with workplace mobbing or harassment, you're going to get labeled as a troublemaker, even though you're the one who's being attacked and you're kind of defending yourself. I will say that when people are mistreating you, you really do have to take some time and stand up for yourself. You don't always have to use drastic measures. I don't think I used anything drastic. I think I've been extremely patient considering how long this has taken. But you have to stand up for yourself, especially when you recognize what workplace mobbing is and the follow-up harassment that can go on out into the community. So you have to be assertive, especially because there's a lot of people on the outside who aren't directly involved with this situation, who only know bits and pieces. They know that you left an employer and they feel as though they want to kind of fill in the gaps with a bunch of information that's not relevant to the whole situation. So you have to make sure that you get your story out there. So no, I'm not a hellraiser. I'm not. I'm a very peaceful person. I enjoy working. I enjoy working, collaborating with other people. I'm very goal oriented, and I like to get to work and I like to focus on my work. That doesn't mean that I don't like having fun or that I don't have a sense of humor, because I do. I mean, I have a great sense of humor. And I consider myself to be a rather patient, tolerant person. I'm open to just about every environment with all kinds of people. So, I think I try to clear up the misconceptions as much as I possibly can. I know that people who interact with me, like usually it's brief interactions that I have, like out in the community, like going up to a clerk or something like that, or maybe just going outside and seeing somebody. I can't really say, I can't see how anybody could have an issue with me. I don't stir up trouble. So I'm the kind of person, I recognize that when you do have a job, you're hired to do that job. And yeah, I do take my job seriously. I do. I take my job very seriously. I know in the past when I've dealt with, the outside intrusion, it's very difficult to be taken seriously, because when you're dealing with workplace mobbing, and I hope that people have taken the time to look this information up, when you're dealing with workplace mobbing, their main goal is to get you out of the workplace, meaning, they're going to create scenarios where they're discrediting you, taking credit for your work, so on and so forth. And it's not about being an egotist, like where you just want all this recognition and you want everyone glorifying your name. That's not the issue. The issue is that you want to make sure that the employer is evaluating you fairly, so that when you do something, whether it's small or big, that they're noticing that, so that when they're doing reviews, if they do them, okay, that they know that you are a competent employee and that you're going to build your reputation so that you can stay within that company. Or if you do leave that company, that you have the opportunity to take advantage of different opportunities that might be available to you. It has nothing to do with being on an ego trip. And I think people sometimes think, well, that's what it's all about. Because I was accused of that before. During the workplace mobbing, I was accused of all kinds of things. Like I was being an arrogant person. It's not about arrogance. It's about setting a firm foundation, because some of us don't have those connections. We're not, like, I don't know, affluent people to where I could align myself with some of the big wigs here in this community. Like, there's some names in this community that I've heard from the minute I walked into this town, like certain family-owned businesses and so on, that I remember hearing, and I know who they are. I know of them. I don't know them personally, but I'm not affiliated with certain people who have, the resources to get me where I need to go. So I'm just like, in the grand scheme of things, I'm kind of a nobody, right? So I have to work hard to get myself where I need to go, And so, and I'm aware of that. So the only way that I can make it in this world is by my hard work and dedication. And there are some cutthroat people out there. There are some people who get by in this world who don't necessarily have to put in the effort, okay? And if you're one of those people, good for you, okay? Good for you that you get to sail through life, doing what you need, what you want to do, and then getting by with very little knowledge or whatever. But I have to prove that I am competent in my work. And it's very important to me because in this world, I realize all I have is myself. Sure, I have my son and I love him very much and everything. But, like I said, one day he's going to, he has his own life. He's an adult. I don't expect him to be taking care of mommy all his life. And I wouldn't even want that. So I have to take care of me. And it's always been that way. I've always known that all I had was myself. Sure, I had, people who were assigning jobs for me and whatever. I didn't know that in the beginning. I had no idea. But I always knew when I stepped into that door, especially as an adult. Okay, I remember when I was younger, I was having a great old time, okay? Like when I used to work at the fast food restaurants when I was a teenager, it was all about me and my little spending money so that I could go out to restaurants, I can go pointless shopping sprees, as which most young people do, okay? That was what it was all about. So I really didn't care. But when I got to be an adult, I realized, you, Maria, have a job to do. You have to do your job. But it was more than that. It was like something that I enjoyed doing. It was a challenge for me to buckle down and understand it. And I mean, I really loved working. And I loved, the whole idea of the platform of working. Like, the certain guidelines and stuff that I found quite interesting. So I do enjoy doing a good job. It's not even really so much, sure, okay, I'm running out of money. Okay, that is true. Okay, I am like really, really, really struggling here. But it's not just about money. It's also about filling up your day and finding enjoyment and contentment. Okay, and I know that when I'm at work, I'm happy. You know what I mean? I like having that busy workflow. I like doing stuff. I like to keep my mind busy. I think one of the things that retired people, what kills them quicker than anything is them kind of putting a halt to everything. Because some people, I think a lot of people encourage older people to retire, take it easy. But if it's in them to want to do more, listen to what they're saying. And I'm not quite that old yet, okay? But listen to what they're saying and let them do it, because they're the only ones who knows what's right for them. I know there's a lot of people on the outside that might think, well, I think she should be doing this, and I think she would be doing that, but you might be killing their spirit. Okay, and that's the main thing. You want to make sure that these people are heard. I think a lot of older people, and I feel sorry for a lot of older people, because it's like people look at them like, oh, you're over the age of 55, which I'm not. Okay, I just want to clarify that. But they'll say, well, she's over the age of 55, and she needs to be taking it easy. Some people need to take it easy, okay? But there are some people who have fire and energy in them till they're 80 years old, okay? And I personally think if that's what they want to do, and that's what fills their spirit, and that might be the thing that's keeping them alive, okay? So we have to take into consideration other people's feelings and their personal needs. And the only person who knows that is them. Okay, like I'm the only person who knows what's good for me. Now I could work part-time, okay, but I have to think about other things. You know what I mean? Like I need money. I need to be able to take care of myself. What would happen if, I didn't have somebody helping me? I have to think about these sort of things. And so I'm just asking people to understand that, No, the solution is not going out and getting married, okay? Because like I told you, I would never put myself in that situation, knowingly put myself in a situation where somebody is supporting me, okay? Because you can end up right back where you are now. And I had no idea, like my ex husband, if that's what he was, I had no idea that his family was involved in that until many years later, okay? But I would have never said, I want you to do that. Why? Because if something happens, look where you are. You know, people need to understand you have to take care of yourself. You know, and I encourage most women, even if they have a setup, if they have a, consensual agreement with their spouses, and that spouse is arranging jobs, okay, but you need to be able to put in your 2 cents worth and say, this is fine, and I appreciate it, okay, but what if he wants to yank it all back, or do some sort of maneuver behind the scenes to where you're basically screwed, okay? So you need to take care of yourself, So anyway, I've been busy doing that today, and my eyes are like crossed. I'm like, it's too much. Sometimes it gets to be too much. But, I do have like this basic spreadsheet that I made in Excel to where I keep all my resumes, list all the names of resumes and the different like little duties that are specifically on them, so that it does help me minimize the time that I have to spend on tailoring each resume, because that way I can look at my little reference chart and say, okay, well, this has this on it, this has this. I can merge them together. I can do this, I can do that, and it helps me a lot. So I'm trying to get as organized as I possibly can. I'm not really that choosy. I think that I want to find something that I'm already have skills in. You know what I mean? I don't want to be thrown into something that I've never done before, because I can't really do that. You know what I mean? Especially at my age, okay? But it's got to be something that I can be comfortable doing. And if I apply for that job, then I obviously can see myself doing that, okay? It's not, I do take in consideration the job requisition, and I'm not just like going to apply to, like, for example, a fish gutting job, okay? Knowing good and well I hate the smell of fish, I'm not doing that, okay? Some people do get in a situation where they're just desperate. They'll take any job, okay? But I'm also trying to think about long-term goals too, because God knows, because I had no control over this, but I have hopped, skipped, and jumped different jobs in the last few years, and I'm not happy about it, okay? And I knew right when I left the mining place that once that job was sabotaged, it worried me, because I had already had other jobs arranged where those assignments ended, and it put me in a situation. I prefer to have some sort of stability in my workplace, in my work. Like, it's not a good thing to work like a few months and then stop that job and then pick up something else. It's good to have a consistent work history, and it's important. Okay, it's very important. And I think when other people are choosing your jobs, they don't think about that sort of stuff. Okay, because in their mind, we have her whole life planned out. It's not about you. That's what I'm telling you. It's not about you. And I'm saying this to be in a very cordial way. Like, I'm not trying to attack, even though I know that I have separated from these people, and I really prefer it be that way. I'm saying is that we don't think about other people's needs that deeply. We're just thinking about the immediate, let's just go ahead and put her in something and whatever. But it's something that needs to be done. Like, I know that I have no 401k. I don't have any retirement. I have nothing, okay? Now, I do get, like, statements from Social Security every once in a while, and I do have them filed. And I do review them, it tells me what I'll get when I retire and all this other stuff and whatever. And I will tell you, for somebody who's been working since they were 17 years old, I think the monthly income that I would get if I was to retire, it really isn't enough. It's not really, because when I think about it, it's like, man, that would absorb a lot of that money, But in the past, where I had jobs where I could contribute and do all these sort of things, my jobs would disappear. You know what I mean? So I'm trying really hard, and it's really important that people understand that this is a very serious thing. Yes, I take my job seriously. Yes, I take my future seriously. Okay? Just because I have a young spirit, or I'm happy, I'm bubbly, or whatever, doesn't mean that I'm not serious about my job. You know what I mean? Because when I sit there at that desk, my mind is focused on my job. And it's like I said, it's not just about me making money. It's about personal satisfaction, and I enjoy working. You know what I mean? I enjoy a constant workflow. I noticed one of the reasons why I get bored at home so much is because there's really not a lot to do. And when I'm applying for jobs, that's something I have to do. But when I take a break from that, or when there's, I'm not on the weekend or whatever, what does Maria do? Maria sits there and she watches the time go by. And that's not good for me, and it's not good for a lot of older people. So I'm just saying is you should understand where other people are coming from. I know, sometimes it's convenient for other people to do these little favors or whatever, but you have to think about what's this person going to be doing in 20 years, not based on what you want them to do, based on what they need to do. So I'm communicating this right now. God knows how long I have on this earth, okay? And I will say that when I think about the time that it was taken from me and the time that I put in, it's a shame. It's an absolute shame. It's horrible, okay? It's horrible that somebody is in a situation like this, okay? It's not a good thing at all. But, I want to, number one, work in an environment where I can apply myself, and I want to be focused on my work. I want to work, I can work alone or I can work in a team. One thing I want to work in an environment where I can focus on my job and I don't have to sit here and worry about people nitpicking me. I understand people are interested in certain people, especially this brown woman who walks into a predominantly white office. Okay, I understand that. I'm not dumb, okay? But, so I understand people are going to be a little curious, especially after all this gossip that went on. I understand that, okay? But, like, for example, people, like, looking at what I'm eating and trying to speculate, what does it mean? It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything, okay? If Maria wears pants one day and then turns around during the hot weather and she wears a dress that day, it doesn't mean anything. It means it's a hot day, okay? If Maria's shoes match her dress, it's because Maria's shoes match her dress. It had nothing to do with Tom, Dick, or Harry, or anyone else, or a desire to get back with, oh my God, my ex-husband, if that's what he wanted. It has nothing to do with that. You know what I mean? It has nothing to do with anything. You know what I mean? None of it has anything to do with anything. And I think what bothers me is the guessing game or the speculations or and that gets out of control. It's like when I go to work, everything else needs to be put aside. You know what I mean? People think speculating about who I'm dating, which is no one, okay? Talking about, this, that, and the other thing. It's not there. Let's not put things out there that's not existent. You know what I mean? I'm just somebody who wants to go to work and do a good job. And that's it. You know what I mean? So I want my personal life, or what you think is my personal life, okay? Because I'm sure that what actually goes out there in the community is pretty juicy stuff. I mean, I'm sure, like, they probably make me sound 10 times more interesting than I really am. This is pretty much the extent of my life right here. Okay. I, go out every once in a while. Did go to the park yesterday. I was bored to tears. So I went up the street. I realized there was a little park area. Yes, I walked. No, it had nothing to do with this person, that person, or anything. I was bored as hell. I don't have shitloads of money to where I can go out and spend money on gas all the time, so I could go drive way out to the outskirts of town. So I decided to go for a walk, because I went to a nice little walk out there, and I thought, this would be a nice little place to hang out during the summer. Then I came back home, and I felt a little fresh, and then I took a nap. I was really tired. When I woke up, I realized my eyes were bright red. And then I think I made something for my son and then to eat, and then I went to bed. You know what I mean? But my thing is, it's like I get bored. You know what I mean? I get very, very bored at home. And my life is extremely boring for a lot of people. Now, if I was happy working or whatever, then I would have a little extra money so that I could go out and do my shopping and without watching every little penny. And then I could come home on the weekends and I could engage in my little hobbies, and then I could feel more energetic and more content, and stop making all these goddamn videos, with the exception of certain information that I think is important. I think that talking about workplace mobbing, and I think this stuff is important. I really, really do, because it shouldn't happen to people. It shouldn't. This sort of, you know, sabotage of a person's life. It shouldn't happen. Whether people do it, you know, deliberately, or they do it, you know, without really thinking. Oh, let me stretch my legs. Without they doing it without really thinking, it's something that people need to understand, that this sort of intrusion affects the lives of other people. So anyway, I'm going to wrap up this video, and I'll be back with another video sometime later. Just wanted to let you know what I was doing. For all the other targeted individuals, keep your head up, keep going out there, keep going out and looking for work. Do the best you can. In the meantime, try to figure out what happened. You know what I mean? Because it's really important in order to gain some sort of closure. I'll wrap this video up later. Now, and I will come back with another video some other time later. Take care.